making us look bad by your work.
All right. So we have decided to do selection sort on an array. So I copied, I guess, a quick template over inside of our sandbox. So I'm going to make y'all code this. All right. So let's see. What do we have? Let's go. I've been calling it unit because I am totally unoriginal. Hey, unit.h. So we need to do, what do we call this?
Ooh,
Ooh, that's cool. Who's doing that?
Not good.
Okay.
This is getting great.
Restarted.
Yeah, who's
I
a?
love when they do that. It's like it's time for an update. Shut down.
All right, so there's selection sort. So let's figure out how we can test this thing real quick.
I didn't do anything.
It's okay.
That's what everyone says.
Yeah.
I'm not everything.
Ooh.
She's trying nothing to play.
All right, let's go create an array.
We're just about crashed.
We have -5, -20, 12, 5, 14, 2, 52, and 0.
That's 53. We got it.
Whatever.
Doesn't matter.
How many elements is that? 8?
Yeah.
Actually, we can do this. That would have been bad. So 0 should be, what, -20?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. I love this.
All right, -20, -5, 5, or actually, no, it's not 5, it's 0. Nice. And then 2, then 5, then 14.
There's a 12.
12.
Everyone's a critic. 12, and then 53. All right, make selection test. Let's see. Error, selection sort was not defined in the scope. Okay, let's include it. Failure. All right, great. So now that it's completely failed as expected, we have our test case ready to go and ready to test this thing. Let's go do it. All right, so how did selection sort work? Magic.
We're not programmers, we're magicians.
We went through.
computer magicians.
You go and look for the lowest one that's left in the list.
All right,
and you
so-
put that one down.
Okay, hold on. So look for the lowest in the list and
Insert it into new list.
no.
Or put it in the same list at
Swap for the lowest
index.
index. There we go.
Okay.
So it's in the remaining list. So let's just do that for the first time. So we need to find, what do we need to do? We need to find the lowest one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go and just write that real quick. I'm gonna make y'all do this because we got about an hour to write this function. I guess I can let that slide. All right. So I start to 0, I is going to go up to size. Before the for loop, you probably should have a min index. Have it start at 0. Probably should declare it as an integer. It's okay. See, I get to be sassy now.
Let's examine everyone's name.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right. So we're going through the loop, and what are we looking for?
We're looking for the lowest value.
Okay.
So. No, I'm just thinking of how to do it. Just what I do is I probably make. We don't have a template there yet.
You don't like declaring things on the list?
I do not.
In the loop.
I do not. I feel like this burned me at some point and I don't like it.
Talking about our feelings.
Nice.
Then we probably.
Okay. So what are we trying to do in this for loop?
Find the smallest
Find the smallest
value.
of the array. So, well, how are we going to do that inside of a loop?
I was gonna go through it using an if comparison.
Mm-hmm. I need to check something back here.
Freedom. That's all I'm Go. Go. Let's leave.
Couldn't we initialize the min index to the first value of the array before the loop? And then just check that each time?
No, hold on. Let's leave min array at 0. Alright. So if we're going through the loop, we need to have a check. And if you're checking, you're using an if statement. So let's go with if. Running that for loop. So if array sub I, ARY, because I thought that was way too much typing for me, is less than ARY sub min index,
Can you say that again?
min index. So the idea is that if we have, let's see, min index, am I on board? Equals 0, and you have I, which is going from 0 to 8. So first off, you ask, is -5, so this ARY sub I less than ARY sub min index? All right, well, if it starts at 0, you're asking if -5 is less than -5. Okay, that's kind of superfluous, but you know, whatever, we started off that way, so this doesn't happen. Next, we're going to see if -20 is less than, what's ARY sub min index going to be when I is 1?
-5.
Yeah, -5, and this is -20. It is less than it. So what do we need to do? Because min index is supposed to point to the index that has the smallest value.
If that's the case, then
You don't want to mess with the array. You got this, Blake. Go for it. All right. So what's that going to do? Whoa. Min index is an index, not the value. We're not storing the value. We need to know what index the minimum value is. So min index, so let me,
Well, that sets the index of the smallest thing to 1.
equals, yeah. Okay, so minimum index at this point is the index with the smallest number. Okay, now that we have that, what do we need to do?
Swap.
Swap with?
The smallest unsorted index.
Sure. And the first time we we create this loop, first time we do this, which index is that?
0.
0. All right. So, and a lot of times it's easier to first code the simple case and then figure out how to make it a general case. So let's assume it's always 0. So how do we swap it with array, array sub 0 here? That looked good, min index, I like that. Okay, equals. All right, almost. I think you swapped this up here. Oh, let me drag real quick. I think you meant this. Oops.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, so you want to copy array sub 0 into temp, and the array sub 0 gets min index, and then there you go. Okay. So originally we failed all the test cases. This should at least pass the first test of the test case. Let's find out. Hey, we even passed the second one, probably because we lucked out, and if you swap the -20 and the -5, you get past. So, all right, well, that's a good sign. So how many times do we need to do this? More.
Until size.
Right. So let's do another for loop. And when this happens, one thing I like to do is update I to j. That's the only part we have to do that. So int I equals 0, I is less than size, I plus plus. And let's go ahead and perfect. All right. So I wrapped it in another for loop. We are so close. So, doing great. The only problem is this for loop.
Oh wait, no, that's J.
No, you're right. That bottom part is correct because you're trying to go with I. And here, the only problem is now every time you run the internal part, you're looking through the entire list again for what's the smallest. Well, you're always going to get the smallest because it's at the beginning. You just made it the beginning. So we need to change this for loop so it doesn't start. It doesn't start at the beginning. Well, you don't want to go past the size of the array. So it's not to end at size, you want to start at the certain location. So instead of starting at 0, where do you want this thing to start? Ah, all right. And let's see what happened. Ooh, failed out. All right. Array sub 1 equals -5. Ooh, we failed other ones. Let's see what we did. So another nice thing to do is for every iteration, let's print it out. Actually, no, let's just do this. Hmm. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that's not right. No, that's J. That'd be right. Really? No one stopped me?
I just thought you were doing something I didn't know about.
Oh, no, I'm printing out all the elements of the array.
-20, -5. Oh, we got the -5 lit. Oh,
It switched the
messed up.
12 and the -5.
It switched the 12 and the -5. That ain't right. How did that happen? Oh, min index, have it start at 0. Well, we don't want the minimum index to start always at 0. In fact, the minimum index may be something different each time. What should the minimum index start with?
I.
Yeah. Oh, someone was typing it. Go, go, go.
Every time.
What are we doing?
I don't know, I was trying to make it work like more of the time, because what if you have a number that's lower than -9,000?
Well, temp gets updated right here. So we actually don't need to set temp at all. There we go. All right, let's see what happens now. Okay. Hey, look, we passed. Oh, it's so pretty. All right, let's get rid of these print statements and write a couple more test cases. There's the first one. What's some other good sorting test cases that your professor might throw at you for an autograder? No?
Love that.
That's my favorite. A2Y? Huh. All right, covered that one. Oh, sure, let's see what happens. Didn't seg fault. Well, that's convenient. Any other ones? We could leave it at this.
We'd just be throwing more numbers at it.
We could also, how about we have one of just 2 numbers? That's already sorted. Ooh, that's even better. It's probably still going to work, which is good. Oops. Okay. So that's probably working. All right. But I guess I'll let y'all decide. Any other questions about this? So we are ending pretty early today. Make sure you have, so hopefully you're working on your project. If you have any project questions, please ask. during lab time. Otherwise, that's all I have for today. Have a good day, and I'll see you on Wednesday.